Why would my stepmother send me to fetch water from the river at midnight, knowing that it is very deadly and terrifying? I might not come back. I don't know what to do. She told me that if I return without water, she will kill me. Amaka was filled with fear and confusion. Once upon a time, there was a spirit called the Deceiver and Destroyer. This spirit lives in a river known as the IMO River. It was deadly and powerful, constantly seeking someone to enter the river at midnight so it could possess them and use their body to deceive and destroy others. Yet, no one dared to visit the river at such a late hour because the river only displayed its powers at midnight. The IMO River was the only river around the town, and people only went there during the day. Even then, people were afraid of it. The river gave off an air light that filled anyone who looked at it with fear. There was a girl named Amaka. Her mother had died while giving birth to her, and Amaka was her only child. Before she passed, Amaka's mother blessed her, saying, "Amaka, as I leave this world, I bless you. You shall never die prematurely. Even if your enemies believe you are dead, you will rise and prove them wrong. You will succeed, marry, and have many children. Nothing will harm you." After Amaka's mother died, her father Obinna remarried. His new wife, Susana, despised Amaka with a passion. Whenever Susana saw her, she looked at her as if she were an animal, like a goat or chicken. No one understood the reason for Susana's hatred. Some thought she was happy that Amaka's mother was gone and that her mistreatment was a way to mock the deceased woman. Despite Susana's treatment, Amaka respected her stepmother, accepting her as her own mother. She did all the chores in the house and cared for Susana's children, treating them as her own siblings. Still, her stepmother hated her deeply, treating her like a slave. Every day and night, Susana found ways to punish Amaka. Yet, Amaka never harbored ill will against her. Obinna, however, loved Amaka dearly. Every time he looked at her, he was reminded of her mother and felt a deep unspoken sorrow. Amaka looked so much like her mother that Obinna's heart ached. He missed his late wife, whom he did love so much. Her death had nearly broken him. Obinna worked in a company in another state and could only visit his family once a month, bringing money to support them. He was unaware that Susana was maltreating Amaka. Whenever he was home, Susana pretended to be a loving stepmother, showering Amaka with love and kindness, even going as far as to scold her own children in front of him. In Obinna's presence, Susana treated Amaka like a queen, giving him the false impression that she loved Amaka. Amaka never told her father about her stepmother's abuse, thinking that one day Susana might change. When her father asked if Susana treated her well, Amaka would lie, saying, "Yes, she is good to me. She loves me as her own daughter." Obinna, relieved, would respond, "That's all I want, Amaka. I don't want you to suffer. Your mother has already paid the price. If I ever see you suffer, it would break my heart. You remind me so much of your mother, Udoka. She was a wonderful wife, and I had hoped we would be together forever. But fate had other plans." Susana had 3 children, 2 boys, Ifeanyi and Junior, and a girl, Precious. They all loved Amaka and considered her their elder sister. When their mother mistreated Amaka, they would often cry, pleading with her to stop, but Susana ignored their pleas. One day, after Obinna spent some time at home, he prepared to return to work. As soon as he left, Susana called Amaka over. When Amaka approached, Susana slapped her, causing her to fall to the ground. "You see how you act around your father, pretending as if I am hurting you," Susana sneered. "Ma, I didn't say anything to him. I even told him that you treat me well," Amaka replied, holding back tears. "Am I mistreating you, or you just too stupid to know better?" Susana shot back, slapping Amaka's head again. She then ordered Amaka to gather all her children's dirty clothes and start washing them. Despite feeling unwell, Amaka began to protest, but Susana slapped her hard, silencing her. Amaka quickly gathered both clean and dirty clothes and began washing them. As she scrubs, tears streamed down her face. Amaka spent the entire afternoon washing her step-siblings' clothes under the blazing sun. Her hands were raw and her eyes stung from the mixture of soap and sweat. Despite the pain and exhaustion, she continued, determined to finish the task before her stepmother found another reason to punish her. As the sun began to set, Susana watched her from the doorway, arms crossed, a look of cruel satisfaction on her face. When Amaka finally finished, Susana snapped, "What took you so long, lazy girl?" She grabbed Amaka by the arm, pulling her towards the kitchen. "Now, go and prepare dinner. My children can't eat late because of your incompetence." Amaka bit her lip, holding back her frustration. She dragged herself to the kitchen and began cooking, her body aching from the day's work. Her step-siblings, Precious, Ifeanyi and Junior, watched her with worried expressions, but they dare not interfere with their mother's wrath. That night, after everyone had eaten, Susana ordered Amaka to stay up and clean the entire house. Amaka's eyes grew heavy as she mopped the floor and scrubbed the kitchen, her small frame barely able to carry the weight of her chores. By the time she finished, it was almost midnight. She went to her room and collapsed on her mat, barely able to lift her head. Just as Amaka closed her eyes, she felt someone standing over her. She opened them slowly, only to see Susana looming in the doorway, her face shadowed and cold. "Get up," Susana commanded in a low voice. Amaka's heart skipped a beat. "Ma, please, I am tired." "You dare speak back to me?" Susana hissed. She grabbed Amaka by the arm and yanked her to her feet. "You think I am done with you? No, follow me, Amaka, and don't complain. You will regret it tonight." Amaka stood up and followed her. She wasn't happy because she had worked so hard that day and was just about to rest. But her stepmother, Susana, came again to wake her up. Susana didn't tell Amaka why she had woken her in the middle of the night. Amaka followed her until they reached the backyard. "Why did you leave this soap outside? Don't you know that soap is costly? Is it because of this soap that you woke me up, ma? You could have just picked it up yourself. It wouldn't make you any less in charge of this house. You know I have worked so hard today and need to rest." "How dare you talk to me like that? So I am now your slave or your maid? Before I close my eyes and open them, you had better pick up this soap and put it back in the house." Amaka picked up the soap and started going inside. As she went, she thought to herself, "This is our backyard and it's protected. No one can come in here and take it. Why does my stepmom always look for ways to punish me? I don't like how she treats me in this house. Is it because my mother is dead or because my father isn't around?" She sighed. "Okay, there is God." When Amaka put the soap away, she went back inside and went to sleep. As the sun rose the next morning, Amaka was already up and busy with her chores. She moved from one task to another, her small hands scrubbing, washing, and sweeping. Her stepmother, Susana, lounged in the sitting room, watching her with a cold, calculating gaze. Amaka, are you deaf? I asked you to clean these floors until they shine, but I can still see dust. Do it all over again. Amaka looked at the floor. She had just scrubbed meticulously, but she didn't argue. She knew better than to talk back, especially after last night's scolding. She nodded, took her cleaning rag and went over the floor once more, her back aching and her eyes heavy with exhaustion. After hours of cleaning, Amaka took a short break, hoping Susana wouldn't notice, but her stepmother's voice pierced through the silence almost immediately. Who told you to rest? Do you think you are here to relax? I am sorry. I was just catching my breath. Catching your breath? Catching your breath? Catching your breath won't make you any more useful. Go to the market. We are running low on tomatoes and peppers, and don't even think about coming back without the best quality. Amaka forced herself up, despite the weariness in her limbs, and headed for the market. She walked quickly, making sure to get everything on Susana's list. She was extra careful not to make any mistakes, knowing any error would lead to more punishment. When she returned home, Susana inspected every item with a frown. Look at this tomato. It's soft. Did I ask you to bring me rotten vegetables? But it's not rotten. It's just... Susana slapped her hard across the face before she could finish. I don't need your excuses, Amaka. Do you think I am stupid? Amaka beat back her tears and quietly took the slap, knowing any attempt to defend herself would only make things worse. She carried the bags into the kitchen and started preparing dinner as Susana ordered. As she stirred the pot, Amaka thought of her mother. She remembered the comforting words her mother had always spoken, telling her that she would be strong, that she was destined to thrive no matter what came her way. Those words were the only thing keeping her from breaking under Susana's cruelty. Holding onto her mother's words, she whispered to herself, "There is God, and He sees everything." As night fell and Amaka finished her chores, she retired to her small room, and her body bruised and tired. She lay on her mat, praying silently, hoping for an escape from her sufferings. As Amaka was still resting in her room that night, Nepa took the light. She murmured to herself, "Why did Nepa take the light this night? I don't know if my stepmom managed to pump the water she wanted before I came inside." Earlier, before Amaka went to her room, Susana, her stepmother, wanted to pump water for something she planned to do that night, but whatever it was didn't seem important. From inside her room, Amaka muttered, "I hope this NEPA power cut doesn't work against me. I am aware my stepmother was trying to pump water. I hope she got enough before the light went out." As Amaka was talking to herself, she heard a voice echoing through the house. "Amaka! Amaka! Come here!" "Yes, ma, I am coming," Amaka said, quickly standing up. Why is my stepmother calling me like this? I hope all is well. She hurried out to meet her. When she reached her, Susana said, "What took you so long?" "Ma, I didn't waste time. I only just heard your calling," Amaka replied. Susana frowned. "I know, but you still took too long to respond." "I am sorry, ma," Amaka replied, her body trembling. She feared her stepmother would beat her that night, unaware that what Susana had in mind was worse than a simple beating. Susana continued, "Amaka, I was trying to pump water, but NEPA took the light before I could finish. I need water for something. So I want you to go to IMO River and fetch some water for me. I need it to wash my underwear. You know how much I hate that. Amaka's eyes widened. IMO River? No, 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 no. I can't go there. I've heard how dangerous that river is, especially at night. I don't want to go there. Please subscribe and watch out for part 2. Thank you and God bless you.